Why? The most important, most common, most justified question in any conversation with anyone is why? Why do you want me to do this? Why did you do that? Why? To understand, to comprehend what the other person has in mind, what the other person wants you to do. Why? It is always justified. Except in one case. If the trust between two individuals is very high. Imagine Elon Musk is your first cousin and you trust him to death. And he tells you, invest with me. There's something coming up. I can't tell you. Put as much money as you have. I guarantee you it's going to be good. Do you ask him why? Well, it depends. If you don't trust him, then you're going to ask why. If you do trust him, you're not going to have to ask why, especially his track record is pretty good in making money. If your father asks you a question, if your father tells you, invest with me or do this for me, do you ask why? Again, it depends. If you're close to your father, the closer you are to a person, you don't ask the question why. Why is a question that basically is saying to the other person, I need to verify the information. I need to make sure that what you're telling me is correct. And based on what you're telling me, I will make a decision. Which means that there's another being that we cannot question, and that's God. When God tells you to do something, you should not be asking why. Because if you need to verify that his suggestion or his demand or his decision is now in question, for you to verify, for you to check, for you to analyze, and then to come up with your answer and saying, okay, now yes, now I agree, before no, that's impossible, because it would put God at the same level as me. The reason why it's justified when two individuals, two human beings are having a conversation, because both of them are equal level. There's no reason that one is higher than another, so they're having a conversation at the same level. If one being is above, this is the being that created us, that created the world, that has a plan, that could see the future. And that being is telling you to do something. This is the one time that according to all measures, according to all ideologies, you cannot question. Don't question God. Don't ask why. I always say, if God sends me an email where it says, I'm answering all your questions, I would not open that email. I don't want to know why. I want to trust in God. I don't want to know why. Because if it's going to reason with my reasoning, then that's it. The connection is lost. That means that we're not at different levels. We're at the same level, chas v'shalom. I'm not at God's level. There's no reason I should be confirming or affirming or agreeing with God. Chas v'shalom, that's not my job. And that's the explanation for Naaseh v'Nishma. In this week's parasha, Parashat Mishpatim, it tells us at the end of the parasha how Bnei Israel accepted it and how Moshe Rabbeinu offered it to Bnei Israel, and Bnei Israel said Naaseh v'Nishma. And everybody asks, how could you sign on paper, you don't even know what it is? But no, that was the whole test. The whole test was, are you understanding your position regarding God? It's not about what's written in the Torah. It doesn't matter what's written in the Torah. If God comes and says, this is for you, this is for you. And if I need to vet that information, if I need to verify and agree and confirm this information, that means I don't understand who I am and who He is. And that's the failure. But Bnei Israel, unlike other nations, understood this from the very beginning. When they said Naaseh v'Nishma, tell us where to sign, we sign. You don't want to verify, you don't want to open the book, you don't want to confirm? No, we don't want to. Because if your father tells you sign here, you sign here. When God comes and tells you sign here, you sign here. He doesn't even need to ask you to sign here. But He did, out of decency. If there's one question we don't ask God, is why. We have so many questions, especially these days. Why? Why so much misery? Why so much suffering? Why so much blood? Why so many people have died in Israel? Why the people are still held in Gaza? We don't understand anything. But by asking the question why, we will not understand any better. What we have to do and understand that God has a plan, and we don't know what it is. But God is not us, and we are not God. Shabbat Shalom.